All right, so let me tell you about this kid, Dinanath. He had this incredible gift. He could literally hear someone whispering from miles and miles away. But here's the thing. In a world that only cares about what's practical, his talent wasn't just seen as odd, it was seen as completely useless.
Now just imagine your own father saying this to you. This old Hindi proverb basically means you're good for nothing and you're just a drain on our food supply. Ouch. And with those words, you can pretty much see the whole problem right there. A dreamer up against his very, very practical family.
I mean, Dinanath's gift was for real. He could be miles from home and hear his dad locking up the barbershop for the night. But did his dad think that was cool? Nope, not at all. All he wanted was for Dinanath to forget the nonsense and learn how to be a barber just like him.
And you couldn't find two more different plans for a kid's life. On one side, you have Dinanath, dreaming big. He wants to use his power, marry a princess, achieve something great. And on the other side, his dad's plan? Just be a barber. Keep your head down, do the work.
So after his dad hits him with that final insult, calling him an enemy of the grain, that's it. Dinanath has had enough. He tells his family he's leaving, and he swears he's not coming back until he's made his dream come true and proven to everyone that his talent isn't useless at all.
So Dinanath hits the road, but he finds out pretty quick that he's not the only person who's been called useless for having a unique skill. In fact, he's about to build a team of the most amazing misfits you can imagine.
The first guy he runs into is named Kanu. And, well, let's just say Kanu has a pretty large problem of his own.
So Kanu's gift is also his biggest problem. The guy has a bottomless stomach. He can never, ever feel full. It got so bad that his own father kicked him out, saying he had an elephant-like stomach and couldn't afford to feed him anymore. Dinanath sees a guy who gets it and invites him along, promising him all the food he could ever want at the king's palace.
So the dynamic duo keeps on traveling, and pretty soon they run into one more guy. His name is Banu, and his problem is on a whole different level.
Okay, you thought super hearing was weird? Get a load of Banu. He is so sensitive that a single leaf falling off a tree feels like an earthquake. The sound of an ant walking by can wake him up from a deep sleep. He literally cannot get any rest unless everything around him is absolutely perfect. So another supposed flaw and another perfect member for their team.
So the three friends finally make it to the palace, and they walk right up to the king with some pretty bold requests. Dinanath asks to marry the princess, Kanu asks for a lifetime supply of food, and Banu just wants a perfect bed. The king, as you can probably guess, is looking at them like they're completely nuts.
But the king is intrigued, so he makes them a deal. But the stakes are pretty high. He says, prove it. Prove to me you can do these amazing things you claim. If you pull it off, you get everything you want. But if you fail, it's off with your heads. So, yeah, no pressure.
And so it begins. This is the moment of truth. Everything these guys were made fun of for, every so-called flaw that made them outcasts, is about to become the very thing that saves them.
First up to the plate, literally, is Kanu. The king orders his cooks to prepare a giant feast, basically daring Kanu to eat his fill. And Kanu doesn't just eat, he demolishes it. The cooks are running back and forth with more and more food, but he just keeps going until the royal chef has to go to the king, stunned, and tell him there's literally nothing left. The entire royal kitchen has been picked clean.
Okay, 1 down, 2 to go. All eyes are now on Banu. The king tells his servants to make the most comfortable, most perfect bed imaginable to test this legendary sensitivity of his.
They stack up 7 of the finest mattresses in the kingdom. It looks like a cloud. But the second Banu lies down, he jumps right back up, saying something is poking him. And when they tear the bed apart, what do they find? Buried way down between the 6th and 7th mattresses, a single tiny hair. The king is just blown away.
2 friends have passed the test. Now it all comes down to Dinanath, the guy who started this whole adventure. The king is actually pretty impressed at this point and says he doesn't need to see anymore. But Dinanath insists. He has to prove his worth.
And this is where that useless talent changes absolutely everything. Dinanath quiets the entire room and he just listens. From way across the palace grounds, over by the horse stables, he hears a sinister whisper. It's the king's own minister-in-general, and they're plotting treason.
Dinanath doesn't waste a second. He runs to the king and tells him everything. There's a plot to kill him in his sleep that very night. And in that single moment, his hearing goes from being a weird curiosity to the most important intelligence-gathering tool in the kingdom.
Using Dinanath's idea, the king puts a decoy in his bed. And sure enough, just as predicted, the two traitors sneak in and attack the dummy under the covers. That's when the king's guards, who are hiding in the room, jump out and capture them red-handed.
Well, the king is overjoyed and unbelievably grateful. He declares that Dinanath is the only man worthy of marrying his daughter and grants all their wishes. Kanu gets his lifetime supply of food, Badu gets his perfect bed, and Dinanath gets to marry the princess and is named the heir to the throne.
And there you have it. The story comes full circle. The very talent his father couldn't stand, the ambition his family laughed at, ended up being the key that saved an entire kingdom and made all his wildest dreams come true.
You know, a story like this really makes you think. We all have these quirks, right? These little skills that don't seem all that practical. But what if, in just the right situation, the very thing that makes you different is actually what makes you extraordinary? So I have to ask, what's your hidden superpower?